Hello everybody, and I welcome all of you to Online Study for You. And in this video we are actually going to discuss the TCS NQT 2021 preparation. Yes students, so TCS NQT has been commencing for some of the colleges depending upon which college you are, and a lot of students want to prepare for it right ahead and get placed in the company. So that is what we are doing in this video, preparing some of the simple questions, and as we move on we are going to up our game and truly prepare medium questions, hard questions, aptitude and everything. So get ready for TCS NQT 2021 students. So this will be a programming preparation and we'll see some of the MCQs. This will be mainly regarding looping, so your understanding of looping will be tested in this video. So let us get started right ahead. So the first question for this video is, what is the output of the following code? So this is a given code here: hash include stdio.h, int main, while, printf in loop, printf out loop. So what will be the output of this here? So option A in loop, option B out loop, option C in loop out loop, and option D infinite loop, option E none of the above, or option F error. Now this is a simple question here. It depends upon the syntax of the if condition that you have here, right? So now what is the syntax of this if condition? So normally how do you have your if condition is while, and inside while you will have your condition here, and you will have the conditional statements here, and then you will have that is for else. Yeah, that is how you have while. And you also have do while, right? So you have do, and then you have statements, and then you have while. So let us not worry about do while and all. So this question is about while. So now what we have here in the question that we have, here, the condition is missing. Okay, the condition is missing. So what is going to happen? Obviously, since there is no condition, it cannot evaluate and come here, right? If the condition is true, it will execute this, otherwise it will come here. But there is no condition at all here. So when there is no condition at all, it doesn't know what to do, and that is not the syntax of C programming language. Okay, that is not the syntax of C programming language, and that is why it is going to give you an error. That is why option F, error, is the correct answer for this question. So you have to adhere to the syntax. So now let us move on to the next question. That is the second question: what is the output of the following code? So now we have some more code here. So here hash include stdio.h, int main, do, printf in loop, while 0, printf out of loop. Now what is going to be the output? Option A in loop, option B out loop, option C in loop out loop, option D infinite loop, option E none of the above, option F error. Now this depends upon the syntax of the do while loop and what is happening here. So if you know the syntax of do while loop, you can execute it. So I was talking about this in the previous question itself. So now what is the syntax of the do while loop here? Okay, so for do while loop, what do we have? So do while loop looks like this. So we have do here, and then we'll have brackets, and then we will have some statements, and after closing this we will have the while condition here. Okay, so inside this we will have a condition. Now in the do while loop, what happens is that these statements will be executed at least once. That is the speciality of this do while. So first it will come to do, first it will execute all these statements, then it will go to condition checking. After condition checking, it will come back if the condition is true, else if it is false, it will go down. Okay, that is what is the do while loop. That is how it works. Okay, so now here what happens? See do, this is the only statement that is depending upon this do. So we have the while here. So do printf in loop. So in your computer screen, what happens is first in loop will be printed. Okay, so in loop will definitely be printed, and that is why we have shown the answer here. Okay, then the condition check will happen while 0. This 0 is nothing but false, right? this 0 is nothing but false. That is why this condition becomes false and it doesn't go back and come out. When it comes out, out loop will be printed in the same line. Okay, so that is why option C was the answer. Okay, in loop, out loop was the answer. So we had shown the answer before itself by mistake, but don't worry, we will not do the same thing for the next question. So I hope you understood this question. Okay, here it depends upon the syntax, etc. So we'll have to see how it works. So if there is a bracket opening and closing here or not, there may be questions with scope of variables inside the while loops, etc. Let us suppose we have while loop here like this. So I'll have while loop and there is some condition here, and you have declared an int variable, and outside this it is not accessible. This will be not accessible because that is a scope of variables. So you'll have to see all that. Now let us move on to the next question, that is what will happen when the following program is run. That is this program, hash include stdio.h int main int I is equal to 0, do I plus plus printf in loop while I is less than 3. See here we have multiple statement inside do with these brackets. Now what is going to happen? Option A in loop, option B in loop in loop, option C in loop in loop in loop, option D infinite loop. So this will be printed on the screen. This infinite loop means that whole thing will be doing infinitely. That is what is saying in capital letters. Or option B none of the above, and option F error. Now what will happen? So very simple. First you will have a variable that is created with the value 0, and then you have do I plus plus. So this is the post decrement operator. So when the control passes to this one, the value of I is increased to 1, I plus plus. Okay, so what happens on your computer screen, if you have a wide monitor here like this, first in loop will be printed. Okay, this in loop will be printed, and then it goes to check this condition here. While I is less than 3, this condition is true because I value is 1. So what happens is it comes back here. So again I plus plus happens, this value becomes 2. Again in loop will be printed, and then again it comes here to condition checking. So while I is less than 3, this is true because now the value of I is 2. So 2 is less than 3, this is true. Again it will go back here. Now again I plus plus. So this value now becomes 3. Again in loop will be printed on the screen. In loop will be printed and it comes here. Now the value of I is 3. So now it will compare 3 is less than 3. This is false because 3 is equal to 3, and hence what happens is it will come out of the loop. So at the end what you will have on screen, in loop and in loop. That is option C. In loop will be printed 3 times on the screen. That is what we will be having. Okay, option C is the correct answer. So I hope you got the hang of these looping questions by now. Let us go to the fourth question. What will happen when the following program is run? Hash include stdio.h void main int I is equal to 2, do printf in loop while I is less than 2. Okay, so option A in loop, option B in loop, option C in loop, option D infinite loop, option E none of the above, option F error. So this is also based upon the do while loop. So what happens here, whenever this is executed, int I variable will be created and 2 will be stored inside this I. Okay, so now what happens, do printf in loop. Okay, so what happens on your computer screen, what happens, in loop will be printed. Okay, then it will come to condition checking. I is less than 2. It is false because I value is 2. 2 is not less than 2. So it will come out. So on your computer screen you will have in loop. So thinking that some students will check in loop is the answer, but that is wrong. Okay, in loop will never be printed on the screen. Why? Because you will get an error when you run this program. The reason is you need a semicolon at the end of this while condition according to the syntax of the C programming language for do while loop. Okay, that semicolon itself is not present. So whenever you press the run button or the compile and run button, so this will be the compile and run button. When you compile this, you will get an error during compilation time. Okay, that is why option F is the correct answer here. Okay, in loop is not the correct answer. So pay attention to where semicolon is there or not. So that is why option F, error, is the correct answer for this question. Let us go to the next question. There is a fifth question. What will be the output of the given code? So this is the given code. Hash include stdio.h void main int I is equal to 0 while plus plus I printf in loop. Simple straightforward question. What will be printed? In loop, in loop, in loop, in loop, in loop, in loop, infinite loop, none of the above, or error. Now here what happens? A variable will be created named I whose value will be 0. Now next plus plus I, this is a pre-increment operator. So whenever you say plus plus I, what happens is this 0 will be increased to 1. So since the value is now 1, 1 is nothing but true. So this becomes true and it will print in loop on the screen. And then go back to condition checking, plus plus I, the value becomes 2, 2 means true. It prints in loop on the screen again. So then it does the same thing, the value becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, same thing, it will become 200, 20,000, it will do the same thing. That is nothing but it will form an infinite loop because this condition will not terminate at all. Okay, this condition will not terminate at all, and that is why for this question option D, infinite loop, is the correct answer. There is no syntax error, but this condition will not terminate and it will keep on increasing the value of this I until the memory becomes full. That is why infinite loop is the correct answer for this question. Now let us move on to the next question, that is the sixth question. What will be the output of the given code? Okay, so this is the given code. Hash include stdio.h void main int I is equal to 0 do printf in loop while I is not equal to 0. This is again a straightforward question. Option A, in loop. Option B, in loop, option C, in loop, option D, infinite loop, option E, none of the above, option F, error. Now if you see here, what is happening here is a variable I will be created and the value of this I will be equated to 0, right? Now we have a do while loop and we know the syntax of do while loop. How does this work? We have do, we have some sentences and we close those, then we have while here, and inside while we have a condition here and there is a semicolon here. Never forget about this semicolon. This is the syntax, right? All these statements will be executed at least once. That is also we know from the previous question. Now here what happens? So that is the reason this is the block of do while. Now it comes here first without condition checking and it will execute this. So what happens is on your computer screen, in loop will be printed. Then it will come to the condition checking. It will see while I is not equal to 0. That means when the value of I is 0, this condition will be false. When the value of I is not equal to 0, it may be minus, it may be positive, it may be anything, but it should not be equal to 0. Then it becomes true. So this condition will be true when the value of I is not equal to 0. But here the value of I is 0. That is why this becomes false and it will come out. It will not go back. If this was true, it would have gone back and executed this statement again. So that is why on your computer screen what you will see, in loop will be printed only once. That is what is option A we have here. Okay. So questions for this question 6, option A, in loop, is the correct answer. I hope you understood this. We'll take one more question regarding these looping statements and its syntaxes. So please do read about the syntax of if condition, if else condition, and read more about nested if. Okay, so read more about the nested if condition. So that is very much important as well. You need to know about the nested if. So nested if is nothing but inside one if another if will be inserted. Okay, so for this nested if, let us suppose I have this if here, like this if condition, here inside I will have another if. For this I will have else here. Okay, for this outer one I will have else here. Inside this else only I can have another if condition. So how does this else scoping work? For which if, which else will work? That will be confusing if you go further with this. Then read about while loop, then read about for loop, and then read about do while loop, and write some programs, practice some programs regarding multiplication table, okay, and other things. So that is all covered in our programming course. So if you go to our website onlinestudyforyou.in, okay, and if you go to this premium materials and this video materials option, there you can get these courses, okay, if you're interested. So we have released the TCS NQT 2021 preparation kit for all streams with basic concepts. If you're from mechanical, if you're from civil, computer science, electrical, any branch students can learn this. It consists of aptitude, it consists of programming, and it consists of everything right from basics, all these questions covered. If you don't know C programming also, you will be able to learn. If you know C programming and if you want to have practice questions, that is also there. Aptitude questions with different topics are also covered, and this is available for 799 rupees. You can click on buy now and access this for lifetime for paying this, okay. So there is no validity, there is no timing that this course will expire. It is available for lifetime, and you can just get this and kickstart your preparation for TCS NQT 2021. Okay, we have multiple number of courses here, but I'm recommending you this course for TCS NQT 2021 that is going to come. Okay, so let us go to the next question here. So the seventh question that we will be taking a look at here is what will be the output of the given code. So this is the code hash include stdio.h int main int I is equal to 0 while I is equal to 0 printf in loop then printf out loop. What will be happening? Option A in loop, option B out loop, option C in loop out loop, option D in loop out loop, option E infinite loop, option F none of the above, option G error. So now what will be happening here? So first simple, a variable will be created whose name is I and the value of 0 will be created, and then we have a while loop here, and only this statement in loop printf in loop is the statement that is inside this while loop. Now here in the condition what we have here, the condition that we have is I is equal to 0. Okay, this is very much different from I is equal to 0. This will give the result as either 0 or 1 depending upon the value of I. Okay, this is a comparison statement. Here what you are doing is comparison. This is an assignment statement here. Okay, you are assigning the value of 0 to I. So now what will happen? So will it be true, will it be false, what will happen? Now here inside the while, when you assign I is equal to 0, what happens is the value 0 will be put inside I. I already has 0. Okay, so let us suppose instead of 0 here, if it was 9, then what would have happened is this 9 would be put here. Okay, but we don't have that, we have 0 here. Okay, so that is why what will happen is whenever you say while I is equal to 0, 0 will be put inside I again, and that 0, that value of I that you have just put will be returned to this while. So 0 will be returned to while. So 0 means nothing but false. 0 means false, we know that, and that is why this statement will not be executed at all. This in loop will not be printed because this became false. Why? Because I returned 0 here, because we assigned 0 to I. If we had assigned 9, 9 would have been returned, but here 0 was returned and this condition did not execute, and hence printf out loop will be printed, and that is why option B is the correct answer. Why? Because only out loop will be printed on your computer screen. Okay, I hope you understood this question. So option B out loop is the answer for this question. So we have come to the end of the video. Thank you for watching Online Study for You. Keep watching our YouTube channel, subscribe and click on the bell icon, so we'll be releasing new videos for TCS NQT on a regular basis and you can prepare for all these. And You can also get a premium package, and then you'll have doubt clearing sessions. You will have support from us when you buy these courses as well. So a lot more is going on. So yeah, you can get these and get started with your placement preparation. Thank you once again, students, and all the best for any interviews, campus placement, examination that you're going through now. I'll see you in the next video.